Spoke to Ricky about trips to the moon. He was up for going just to see what the world looks like. I came up with the idea of a giant mirror on the moon that would reflect the world back. He had a few questions, but I had the answers.
Yeah.
He changed the subject, I won.
Right. My first question was, how would you get it up there? He said bit by bit. That'd be a good mirror then, wouldn't it? I said, how big would it be? He went, you'd still need a telescope. I said, how would you get it on the right side of the moon, always facing the right? He went, what? He went, does the moon move then? I went, yes.
And if we don't like the mirror on the moon, we can always wallpaper over it. It's Suzanne's birthday tomorrow, so I've got to get her something. I sometimes think it would be best if we didn't celebrate birthdays. I think people would live a bit longer if they didn't know how old they were. Age puts restrictions on things. She said something about wanting one of them posh badges to put on her coat. I will look for one later.
I love the fact that around the time that you've got to buy Suzanne her birthday present, you think that birthday presents are a bad idea.
Got up early, it's Suzanne's birthday, gave her the card and present. She was well happy with her posh badge. She wore it to work. It's quite nice to hear a moment where she was actually happy for once in your company. They always say when you get someone a present, you should buy them something they wouldn't buy themselves. Daft rule. I want something I would buy myself if I had the money. When I was young, me Auntie Nora got me a present I wouldn't buy myself. It was a t-shirt with her face on. Looked at what's been going on in the world. Someone has found some people who live in an old town somewhere where they are so old-fashioned they still walk on all fours. There is a picture of them and they use shoes on their hands.
That's not old-fashioned. Why is that old-fashioned?
That's some kind of regressive evolution.
Yeah, really old-fashioned.
Yeah.
It's not true, is it?
It is true. It's somewhere in,
Well, I believe they have found a group of people that are living and walking around on all fours, but I don't believe they're wearing shoes on their hands.
And I don't believe they haven't evolved to standing up.
No, they just haven't seen other people walking on 2 feet.
Don't talk shit all your life.
That's all it's about, though, isn't it? You copy. When you're a baby, if you were stuck in a room, you'd wander about on all fours, because that's the way, that's an easy way of getting about. So you only walk on 2 feet because you see everyone else doing it.
Well, I don't believe that is the case, because as I understand it, some of the family are walking on 2 feet. So I don't know what the ins and outs of it are. I know there's a forthcoming documentary on the BBC, so maybe we should watch that and then we'll all know what's going on. Instead of just leaping to conclusions because you read half of it on the internet and then skipped on to something else.
All I'm saying is, though, you would wear shoes on your hands if you're roaming about like that.
So I mean, you just confessed there that you leapt from fact to fiction, did you, in the space of one diary entry?
It's just that I saw a little picture.
And you assumed that they'd be wearing shoes on their feet?
If they've got shoes on their feet, they might as well have them on their hands, because their hands are doing the same as the feet. If you're not going to wear them on your hands, don't put them on your feet then.
I'm beginning to think some monkey news was bollocks.
Treated Suzanne to her tea, went and got her a curry from the shop opposite. While I waited for the food, I read a story in the Metro newspaper about an alien gang that kept appearing in someone's garden.
Christ.
The bloke moved, but when he used to pass the house at night, he would still see the aliens knocking about, hiding underneath his old shed. There was other alien stuff, but I had to go as the food was ready.
Brilliant.
Yeah, it's a bit annoying, that.
Yeah, load of bollocks again.
Went and did some shopping for stuff as it was my turn. Suzanne moaned a bit because I forgot orange juice and bought some cheap toilet paper. She always buys the expensive toilet paper. I don't know why they make toilet paper with pretty patterns on it.
That made it into the diary.
Up and out at 9 o'clock to go to the Cotswolds. Now, I think this was a gift for your girlfriend, wasn't it, for her birthday?
Yeah, it was a
You went to the
birthday and
Cotswolds,
that, so I just went for one night.
Got the car and headed off. We stopped at a service station to get some breakfast. We had fried toast with an egg on it, 1 sausage and beans, twice. Cost us £13.85. They sell everything separate, so it seems cheap. At that price, we must have been charged for each bean. We found the B&B, but they wouldn't let us in the room because we were early. We went for a walk. There was not much around the B&B, so we had a quick walk around the car park. And went back in. Happy birthday. The room was now ready. It's an alright room. 3 biscuits, so I ate them straight away. Like a child.
Like a dog! He runs in, jumps on the bed. No.
Get off the bed, not on the furniture. The room overlooked the car park that we'd already been round. You're staring at that window. Remember when we went there?
We'll always have the car park.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
The room had posh coat hangers in the wardrobe with sponge on them.
So I ate the sponge.
Don't think they are needed. We went and booked a table for Sunday dinner and went on another walk. There was a field that was there just for birds to live on. We couldn't see any, so we went to the pub. Headed back to where we were staying for our dinner, I had beef. It was nice enough, but there was a family of 13 behind us. I don't see the point in going out in large numbers. They annoyed me. One of the family asked for sorbet before his next course. He was only about 11. He thought he was it. I said to Suzanne, I've had enough and needed a kip. Watch Planet Earth on BBC One. They filmed a panda for 4 weeks and all it did was sit in its cave. It did nout. If I was Fiat, I wouldn't name one of my cars after them, as it suggests it won't work or go very far. It'd be like bringing out a Ford Sloth. No one would buy it.
A Ford Sloth. I would love that ad campaign. Oh, that's amazing. Oh, God. The new Vauxhall Slug.
We had a look around the local village. There wasn't much to it. We did the usual thing and had a look around the church graveyard to see how old the dead people are.
Suzanne's had a hell of a time so far. She's gone to the Cotswolds, the room wasn't ready, she's seen the car park, an empty field, and now let's go and play how old the dead people are.
I like the fact that you mentioned we did the usual thing of having a look round the church graveyard. Do you make her do that every time you go away?
I like the fact, I want to know what she did for 2 hours when you slept. Did she just like...
She went to a club, had a whale of a time.
No, she just looked out at the car park, just like, memories.
But that's what you do, though, isn't it, when you go to these places? There's nothing else, unless you want fudge, or, you know, you walk round a church graveyard and have a look. There's nothing.
We went home. It took 3 hours to drive back. People say they go to the country to see the wildlife. I saw rabbits, pheasants and a fox on the way home. They were all dead in the road. I was just intrigued to know, because Rob from Burton-on-Trent has sent this in, and he wants to know that, because he's just started seeing someone, and he wants to know what your advice, Karl, is on how to keep her happy. You know, he's just started a relationship with someone, he wants to know what your advice would be to keep her happy, because, you know, I mean, he won't have heard that you took Suzanne on that wonderful trip to the Cotswolds, so what's your your advice, really, for someone who's perhaps just started a relationship? I mean, you've been with Suzanne for, what, 9 years?
Ages. I don't think you should, have to go out of your way to please them, because then it's not the right person. I think you should just do what you want, and then if they like it, then they're the right ones for you. So don't go out of your way too much. I mean, I got the posh badge for a birthday. That's once a year. Rest of the time, it's kind of like, you know, I like weird stuff. I like watching weird stuff and all that. Now and again, I won't make her watch it. I'll tape it.
This is amazing advice.
But sometimes...
This is amazing advice.
Sometimes you just say, no, come on, the bloke with the 2 heads on, I want to watch it live.
So, give and take is what you're saying there.
That's all. It shouldn't be hard. As soon as it's hard, it's not right. So just go about your business. See if she joins in.
Brilliant. Another quote for the book.
Woke up to the Commonwealth Games on the radio. Now, what are you making of the Commonwealth Games? Is that something that interests you? Are you a sports fan?
I'm not really. I mean, Suzanne's sort of been getting up early, especially to watch it. You know how I feel about a lot of it. It just seems to be sort of wasted. If people are running fast, use it. Do you know what I mean? Rather than just trying to beat your own record or someone else's, do something where you do have to run. If you're a good swimmer, be a lifeguard. Don't be messing about going up and down.
Went home and looked up Freud on the internet. Didn't find him that interesting, so looked at some other philosophers instead. Socrates, Aristotle. Why have you just listed some philosophers?
Just to show that I'm learning.
Well, that's not learning.
That's just learning their names.
That's a list. You might as well write 1 to 100.
Yeah, but if someone says, "Oh, what's your favourite philosopher?" I'll go, "Hang on a minute," and I've got them written down.
But why you can't just
Wait a
pick
minute, I'll
one?
go home, get my enormous diary out.
Yeah. Get a wheelbarrow, bring in my workings, and say one of the names I've written down.
And when they say, well, why do you like him?
Yeah, why do you like,
just run away.
Well, I noticed you put Socrates first. Why is he your favourite philosopher?
You throw the diary at them and leg it. Oh, and then you go on to say, it's weird how names have changed, but then there's no other point there.
It just is, isn't it? When you think about, like, Socrates, I've never heard that on anyone who I know. Is what I mean. It's just, in a way...
But you're not Greek, are you?
But how did that go about back then? I mean, say if you were phoning someone up and they said, I'm booking a table for 2, they go, name? Socrates. Did he ever go, cheers? Without going, can you spell that for me?
But I don't know what else point you're making.
I'm just saying it's a name that's awkward. You're always going to have to go, can you spell that for me? You go, and it's not just him. Look at all them other names that are on that list.
But they're from a different country.
And a different era.
Yeah, I know, but the names, I've been to Rome and stuff, and you sort of go...
Well, ancient Rome?
Just Rome. It hasn't changed, has it? Rome, so it can be ancient Rome or Rome in 2006. It's the same buildings.
Oh, I used to love Nero going around in his Fiat Punto.
Lao Tzu from years ago came up with some good stuff. 1, he who knows does not speak. He who speaks does not know. Not entirely true. To lead people, walk behind them.
Yeah.
And of course, the journey of 1,000 miles begins with 1 step.
Yeah, good that.
Just favourites.
Maybe this is why people are at the start line spectating at the Commonwealth Games.
Well, no, it's just that I've never understood why in Olympics and stuff like that, if you're going to watch, don't stand around the start line, go to the end, where you see the winner. But because of that saying, it actually makes sense, doesn't it? It's like, well, every step starts with a step, or whatever.
Say again?
Every race, you know, you've got to start with a step.
Yeah.
So,
Which is, who am I talking to now, you or your brain?
well, I was thinking about it a bit, so I think I was in control of it a bit more.
So, and what have you come up with?
Just, if you want to stay at the start line, do.
What does that mean?
I'm just saying, if you're into, I wouldn't watch a race, right?
Okay,
But
is this you or your brain I'm talking to now?
this is me.
Okay.
I wouldn't watch.
Are you gonna bring the brain into it, or is it, there's no...
I don't know, let's just see what happens.
Okay.
But all I'm saying is,
Right.
if I was to watch a race,
Yeah.
I wouldn't hang about the start line, because...
Well, you just said you would.
What, did I?
Yeah, you said that's the place to start, because every race starts with a step.
No, but I wouldn't normally.
Right,
I
okay.
won't watch any
The
race.
brain definitely hasn't been used
No,
yet.
is this you or your brain you're talking about now? It was,
I'm just saying about me, if I was on holiday,
yeah,
and Suzanne said there's a race going on down the road,
Yeah.
I'd go, well, let's go, keep going down the road and stand at the finish line.
okay, but now what have
according
you
to
thought?
Lazoo,
Yeah.
I'd say, well, hang on a minute, every race starts with a single step.
Yeah.
How many people around the start line? Is there more room there? She goes, yeah. I'll go, let's go there then, it's less busy.
Right, and what would you see there then?
I'd see people starting the race, but I wouldn't be that impressed with them, because I'd go, well, I don't know if any of these are any good.
So would you start at the start or the end then?
If it was down to me, I'd just probably stay at the finish line.
Okay, so you wouldn't want to see the first step then? So what
Not
do you think of Lazoo now then?
It's not what, but I wrote down 3 of his. That one isn't my favourite. That was the 3rd. I preferred the leading people from behind.
Okay, and what would you do to lead someone now then?
Well, if you're behind, you don't have to take responsibility, do you? You can go, well, I didn't send you here. You went there.
That's not really leading them, though, is it?
Yeah, because I've made them think. I've gone. They go, oh, I've just walked into a big hole. I'd go, oh, should have been looking where you're going. I haven't led them in that hole. But they've learnt a lesson, they won't go in a hole again.
We went to the park and had a brew. Suzanne read the paper while I played with the ladybird. I mean, it's like a child, isn't it? It's like what a child would do.
Suzanne read the paper while I played with the ladybird. His only friend is a beetle.
It climbed up my arm. It struggled on me hairs.
This is in detail then?
Yeah. It kept stopping every now and then, and was rubbing its head with its right arm. It did it about 4 times, and always used its right arm. It rested for about 5 minutes, then flew off. Sunday. Had a bit of a to-do with Suzanne because she wanted a lion today. I ate this. Once you're awake, you should get up. I got up and put the radio on really loud. She eventually got up. I told her insects don't have lions, so we shouldn't.
Why are you obsessed with insects?
You must be fucking unbearable to live with. You must be a nightmare.
No, I've just started, because I've watched insects a lot, I don't want to keep going on about them because we're a bit insect heavy. But at the end of the day, if we copied insects, we wouldn't go far wrong.
I don't know what you mean, though. 1 minute you're saying they're great, then the next minute you'll slag them off.
Yeah, I'll slag some of them off if I don't know what they're doing, but because I've studied them a bit longer, I just think they do it right.
You haven't studied them, though.
He thinks he's like Darwin.
But you just slagged them off again. Don't you think people, that insects are doing stuff? They're not. It
Yeah,
goes there,
ants.
then it goes back again.
The ant was messing about, but only that one. The others were carrying stuff. That's what I'm saying. There's snidey ones in everything. In everything in the world, you get a hierarchy.
Oh, long words!
Ooh. The bookshelf was dusty, so Suzanne asked me to dust it if I get a minute. I ended up looking at every book.
Just the spine.
Yeah.
Just for a few seconds each. Yeah. Didn't open them.
I looked in the dictionary to see if the word dictionary would be in the dictionary. I didn't think they would bother with it being on the front page, but it was in the book as well.
It's a good point, though, isn't it?
No, it's not a good point. Because you didn't tell us anything.
Dictionary is in the dictionary.
Well, of course it is.
But why? If you go, how do you spell dictionary? You look at the spine and you go, oh, there it is, D-I-C-C, and all that.
So what does dictionary mean?
It's a book full of words, isn't it?
That's what it means. All books are full of words, you idiot.
How to spell them. And if you don't know
No,
what
it's
it
not
is...
how to spell them.
All right, then we'll...
I'll just look up something. No. It's not a book full of words to tell us what... No. It's the meaning.
Give us
It's
the definition of
definitive
dictionary.
meaning.
It's a book full of words if you want to know what the meanings are. But if you didn't know
Well,
that...
I'm sorry, what was that sentence?
Yeah, but what I'm saying is, if you didn't know that, then you wouldn't be looking in it, because you wouldn't know the book is about that. So, if you don't know the word dictionary and what it means, you wouldn't be looking at the dictionary, you'd be looking at an A to Z. Because you
Why
go,
leave it out, though?
Just because there's so many words in the world, I would have thought they wanted to cram as much as they can on a page, and if dictionary is already on the front...
Is that why you suddenly used the word hierarchy for the first time ever? Did you find that in there?
Did you see hierarchy in the dictionary?
I feel
I don't know where
that
that
big
was.
word has pushed out about 26 other more useful ones.
Yeah, well, Suzanne's been going on about me learning another language. But I sort of think your brain has only got so much room on it.
And the rest of it's filled with lard.
So, if I've got to learn everything I know, again, but in a different language, it's taking up space, isn't it?
You don't learn everything. Oh, God.
It's all
What do you mean?
storage, isn't it?
But you don't have to learn it again. You don't have to learn the concepts again. You're merely
Do you know how
learning
many
vocabulary.
moves there are in the human brain? You don't worry, you won't use them all up.
I feel that he has reached his capacity, though.
Yeah. Well, you need another sort of, you need an update. You need some more memory.
Woke up to some interesting news. It's good when this happens because it sets me up for the day ahead. If it's miserable news, it affects my day. It said on the news that they have found 2 new flies.
Fucking hell, more insects! What have you done? Is that all you've done this summer?
Bong! Trouble in the Middle East. Bong! 2 new flies found.
Ladybird climbs up arm.
They were found in the UK and they were found close to each other. Maybe this happened because they were different than the other flies and weren't expected to hang about together, so that's why they knocked about with each other.
That would happen, wouldn't it?
What do you mean?
There's 2 new flies.
What do you mean? Does it mean there are 2 new flies that are a different species?
Yeah, 2 new species, and they found them close to each other, right?
Yeah,
And
but they didn't mean there was one of each.
No. Yeah, they did. They found 2 different ones.
No.
No, they have. Seriously, I know that. That's right. That's a fact. So you've got, like, I don't know the names of them. They give them odd names, don't they? Well, say
Yeah.
call it A and fly B, right?
Yeah.
Fly A, I don't know. Say that's orange.
This is just...
B.
Fly B, yeah.
This is
but,
painful,
No, but
this
I'm
is
just making it
painful.
easier
But
for
Fly
you.
B wears
Okay.
a little hat. He's got a little hat.
All right, yeah, fine. Now, they found the orange one. I went, look at this over here. This is a bit weird. And they've gone, oh, that's a new species. Log it, whatever. And then the other one went, oh, keep your pen handy. Look at this one. It's got a hat on. So then they found them both within the same distance.
I don't know what that sentence means.
Keep going.
They
No,
found
let him
them both,
finish.
They found them both within the same distance.
But without interrupting him, let him finish this point.
Let me just make one thing clear. Karl Pilkington just said they found them both within the same distance. Think of that!
Don't know what it means, but go on, let him finish this point.
So what I mean is, they weren't knocking about with other normal houseflies because they were probably sort of going, oh, he's a bit weird. Leave it. Yet, because the other one was also odd, they're hanging about with each other. Don't you understand that? Why is that such an odd concept?
Because you think of it as like two little new kids in school.
Yeah.
They find out they're both new and they've got something in common.
They're both goths, so they start hanging out together.
Yeah.
And this was on the news, was it?
Yeah, just on the radio, yeah.
I know if I looked into that story, it would be 90% wrong.
Bit tired today, because didn't get to sleep as early as I wanted due to a moth getting in the bedroom.
Fuck me!
I got it in a glass and looked at it for a bit and then let it go because Suzanne wanted to go to sleep. Looked up some interesting news. Some people dug up an old body in Ireland. Turns out it's well old and was here when dinosaurs were here. The really weird bit is it had hair gel in its hair.
Right, what is it?
Fella.
Well, no, it wasn't around when dinosaurs were here then.
Just a bit after.
Right, fine. A lot after, yeah, go on. I think any hominid, anything that could even be linked to anything that may become man, is only about 1 million years old, and I think Homo sapien is probably only about 150,000 years old. Dinosaurs are about 150 million to 250 million.
Yeah, no, it's not the age bit, that's amazing. It's the fact of, there's a fella, won't have even had shoes on his feet,
Right.
and yet he was worried about his hairstyle.
Right, well that's definitely not true either. This is unbelievable.
Well, there was a man on the radio doing poetry, says Karl in his diary. I thought I'd have a go at doing a poem about today.
Not really. Steve, I'm a little bit queasy. He hasn't really written a poem.
He's written a small poem.
No, he hasn't really.
Yes. If moths had eyes...
Fuck me!
let me read the poem, okay?
Oh, fuck.
You wouldn't interrupt T.S. Eliot.
Okay. Okay.
If moths had eyes, would they be happier? How do they know they're not dead? Cavemen hunting for food, but not before they style the hair on their head. What would last longer in dinosaur times? A blind man didn't stand a chance. Not with all them rocks about. I'd rather be a blind moth.
Right, it may be the greatest poem
Now,
ever written.
just dissecting it briefly, you attempt to rhyme in the first 4 lines, but abandon the rhyming system in the last 3. Is there a creative decision for that?
Can we have Karl read that?
By all
Sorry,
means, yeah.
just you read it as you would like to. So this is, imagine this, right? Okay, this is going out all over the world. This podcast. And now, Karl Pilkington, a new poet from Manchester, now living in London, England, would like to read a poem.
If moths had eyes, would they be happier? How do they know they're not dead? Cavemen hunting for food, but not before they style the hair on their head. What would last longer in dinosaur times? A blind man didn't stand a chance. Not with all them rocks about. I'd rather be a blind moth.
We had bacon and egg on toast. I'm eager to get through the brown sauce, as the bottle is too big to go in any cupboard, so it has to be left on the sideboard. So I had about 4 dollops of the stuff. I love that because, that made it into the diary. He's concerned about the fact that brown sauce is too big, so he's rushing through it.
I know, but I'm just saying the kitchen isn't that big, and it looks messy when you leave stuff out, doesn't it? And we've got this giant brown sauce bottle, and I don't want to chuck it away because that'd be a waste.
So you're having brown sauce and everything, your
Everything,
cornflakes,
basically, yeah.
in your tea.
Yeah.
A wasp got in the flat. You know trouble's brewing. It was massive, the biggest wasp ever. Suzanne asked me to get it out, but I wanted to take a picture of it first. I was getting my phone ready when it flew at me. I reckon the sting on it could have killed a kitten.
So specific.
It ended up flying out the window on its own. Drama averted.
Oh, God.
We went out for tea. You're always in a cafe. That's what, this diary, you spend so much time in a cafe. There were loads of flying ants. I kept kicking the table because I could feel them on my legs. I wouldn't be that jumpy normally, but I still had flashbacks of the giant wasp from the morning. Suzanne told me to stop being stupid because I was ruining her night out.
A night out in a cab? Brilliant. Oh, God.
What was it, her birthday?
And flashbacks from an incident.
Yeah.
Like he's some sort of, like, war veteran. What is it? It's the wasp. It could have killed a kitten.
Bought some wallpaper. We got back and got on with it. The wall that we've papered before has got a big mirror under it. We papered on top of it again. I ended up reading my phrase book while Suzanne did the rest of the tidying up. Now, what's your phrase book? This is just you trying to master English, is it?
It's just a book that tells you little sayings and how they came about.
An interesting phrase is potluck. It came about when all people ate is stews. They used to chuck all sorts of stuff into the stew. You stuck your spoon in, and sometimes you got something nice like beef, or you could end up with a bit of frog. It's potluck.
Good, isn't it?
That's what it said in the book, did it?
A bit of frog.
Got up and checked the wallpaper out. There are loads of air bumps and it's buckled on the joins. I wish we'd never done it. Suzanne said the washer was broke and it's out of its warranty. She called up the people who made it and they said it will cost £150 to fix. I don't know how they know that when they haven't even seen it. I want to smash it to bits and see what they can do for £150. So much anger.
I want to smash it to bits. That'd be great, wouldn't it? 150, you sure?
Yeah,
Come round.
yeah.
And it's just like a cube that's been through one of those car crushers.
Yeah.
150 quid, there's 150 quid, fix it.
I watched the news and calmed down a bit, because there was a story about some Siamese twins who are having an operation. They've got 2 heads, 4 arms, 2 legs, 1 liver. The doctor said they will have 1 leg each. I felt bad worrying about the washer when people have bigger problems like the Siamese twins. Ricky and Steve asked me to do a poem about one day a week, so I thought I'd do one today. I can't obviously do it justice, so I should let the master read it.
You've done another poem?
Yeah, you said, just do one. If you have a day where you've had a lot of emotions.
Well, I loved the poem, and so did the listeners, and I knew they would, so if you can do that every week, that'd be a joy for me.
You can't force a poem, though.
No, I know.
A diary's easy to do, because you just write down what you're doing.
But
Yeah.
you've got to have some really meaty subject matter to be able to write a poem, Rick, as you'll discover.
I know.
Right, so, you've heard what problems I had that day.
Go on then.
Bubbled wallpaper. What a mess. Washer dry and knackered. What a mess. Siamese twins separated. 1 leg less.
There was an animal in the paper today that I've never before seen. It's called an alpaca. They are gormless looking. The fellow who breeds them said they are easy to look after because they're used to harsh conditions because they normally live in the mountains. The problem with this is they will turn useless eventually, and then if we tried to bung it back on the Andes, they won't like it. It's like how people win these live like a star for a week competitions. They're not good for anyone. Okay?
Do you know what I mean? If something's living somewhere...
Well, he's not
But
going to
why are
send
we
them
gonna
back
bung
to
it
the
back?
Andes. He's presumably breeding them for something else.
Yeah, but say if eventually, the world's getting busy, there's hardly any room, and we go, right, what can we shift here? What's getting in our way that we can shift? Well, those funny-looking things came from the Andes, bung them back. All right, then let's put them back. And they go, oh, they don't like it. They're not surviving, they're dying out. Well, why did we bring them here? Oh, it was closer. Yeah, but look, we've died out now of the...
Sorry, this is not with
is a
yourself.
whole scenario.
This isn't happening. They're angry about it, like it just happened and you're sick of it. None of this has happened
No,
yet.
I'm just looking at how it will happen. Leave them where they were.
But
It's
you're
like-
getting angry about things that you're speculating on now. It's absurd, Karl. Not once have
That
I read
was an
here about your
argument with
anger
yourself.
about terrorism or international, political injustice. Not once have you written about that. Only about the fact we may send animals back to the Andes.
I know, but just because it just annoyed me, that's all. They brought them here, some fella's getting a load of praise because they brought this weird animal into the country, and yet it's like, well, they were on the Andes for a reason. Leave them there. It was happier there. I mean, I feel guilty when I open a bag and a fly flies out of it, and I think, where's that come from?
What bag are you opening with flies? What bag?
No, just when, the bag I took the computer home in, a fly flew out of it, and I thought, when did that get in that bag? Whoever brought that from? And it's the same thing. It doesn't want to be somewhere else. It was where it was. And that's the same with this Polacco, or whatever.
Oh, God! It's amazing! It really is the ramblings of a madman, isn't it?